Winter Rose, written by Panwadee, Ponglada K.Ittimakin. Episode 19. Where has your dear little brother gone? Hilary asked as Irie was lying on the soft sofa, absorbed in reading a mother and baby magazine. She peeled her eyes away from the page to look at her friend. If he hasn't gone out with his friends, I guess he has gone to play racquetball at the university. Why do you ask? Iris said. She knew that even though Katana spoke rudely to her, he was still young and led a good life, studying hard and enjoying sports, especially racquetball and golf. At 5 in the morning, he would put his golfing equipment in the car and drive off, only, only coming back late at night. This had been the pattern for a week now. Before her arrival, Irie had thought that Katana must have accepted her as a sister, otherwise he wouldn't have contacted her by telephone. However, she was mistaken. He simply wanted her to put everything in order about the house, as he was finishing his undergraduate studies and was preparing to move to study at Berkeley in San Francisco, California. Irie could still remember her brother's reaction and words on the day she had arrived in Houston. His scornful smile when he had seen that she was heavily pregnant had almost made her scream with rage. It was lucky that Hilary was with her to encourage her all the time. Where is the baby's father? Or perhaps you don't know for sure who the father is. Katana had said. Iris' anger had rendered her incapable of thinking of an appropriate response, and she had just stood there shaking, rigid with rage, muttering to herself. Hilary had leaped to her friend's defense. Watch your words. At the very least, she is your elder and your mother's daughter. The baby in her womb is your niece or nephew. The baby has a legal father. You should be ashamed of yourself for not taking care of your sister instead of heaping blame on her. You are an outsider. You don't know anything. Don't get involved. I really remember her brother's rage as he had stormed out of the room and sighed involuntarily. Getting upset about your brother is making you sigh. Don't worry about it. I have noticed that ever since we arrived, your brother has never stayed at home. I don't understand either. The first day he spoke in that ugly way, I could never accept him as my brother. What can I do? Teach him who is the elder. Having known her since they were children, I believe that Hilary would do as he said. If she was in the same position as she and her brother, Hugh didn't understand that Irene gave in to her brother because she remembered her mother's dying request. She did not want even her best friend to think of Katana in a bad way and rushed to defend him all the time. Adolescents are like this. They enjoy independence and don't want other people to bother them. Don't take the blame for him. I know what's going on. But anyway, let's not talk about things that will make our heads ache. Let's go round to Galleria this afternoon. Okay, I have nothing else to do. I can do some shopping for baby things too. I did not have to think long before answering because she was anxious to get things in readiness for the birth of her babies. All the time she had been pregnant, she had continued going to work as normal, and so had had no chance to go shopping. She had heard that Galileo was a big, luxurious shopping mall, the most modern not only in Houston, but the whole of Texas. All the country's most famous department stores, like Macy's, Lord and Taylor's, Neiman Marcus, Marshall Field, and had outlets in this mall. They were soon in the taxi, which they had ordered to pick them up, and driving down a narrow road lined with tall trees before turning left and going along West Timmins Road, past shops and towering modern glass buildings. Here and there were famous Japanese restaurants like Miyako and the House of Pies, with so many kinds of foreign desserts to either eat there or take home. When they arrived at Galleria, I told the driver to stop in front of the mall, pay the fare, pass a tip, and then they went into the elegant building brimming with shops. It is even more luxurious than New York, Hillary exclaimed. The price of land is cheap here, so they can afford to build bigger. Have you forgotten that this city experienced an enormous boom? People from all over the country flooded here at that time. There was a boom in the real estate business for both commercial property and private homes. But now the oil business is depressed, so everything has gone quiet, leaving just the locals, South Americans, or rich Mexicans who are regular customers. Hillary swept her guests around the shopping mall, spacious but with comparatively few people. Even famous, elegant shops like Tiffany's were quiet. The last skating rink in the basement was swarming with children dressed in colorful tight-fitting leotards over their ties that sketched tracing patterns on the ice. The best were giving demonstrations, attracting the attention of others standing watching against the barrier. Beginners fell over and got up over and over again without crying. Parents who had come to encourage their children were sitting watching on the seats by the side of the rink. The girls did some shopping in the baby department in Macy's. Irene's legs were aching and she felt thirsty, so she suggested to Hugh going to a shop that sold delicious yogurt. It was while they were sitting eating the yogurt that Ivy's face twisted with pain. What's wrong, Ivy? You aren't due to give birth yet, are you? Hilary asked anxiously, seeing beads of sweat standing out on her friend's forehead. Ivy's face looked strained, her eyebrows drawn together in pain, as she nodded. I think I'm going into labor now. She answered through gritted teeth. What can we do? There's nobody around. Can you walk a little so we can get a taxi? Irene nodded before clutching her friend's shoulder and walking out of the mall. This sudden development made them glad that they had not bought many things. Otherwise, they would have had to abandon them right here. What's happening? The middle-aged woman's face was clearly worried as she spoke. After Hillary had phoned her, she had rushed to get the final flight of the day, referred to as Red Eye's flight to Houston. For the past 2 days, she had sat taking care of her daughter in hospital, waiting for new developments. The doctor said that the baby big, so she will have to have a cesarean, said Hillary with a worried look. 'Said 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 Hill Enrique should be contacted. He is the one who should make the decisions if anything happens to his wife or children. But if Irie finds out, don't tell her. Okay, I will see to it. Promise Hirari. To those waiting, each hour that dragged by seemed like a year. As soon as they saw the figure of a tall man with strong, handsome features walking into the nursing room, both Karen and Hirali hurried to greet him without even sparing the time for introductions. Where is she? Come this way. Enrique followed the nurse's instructions like a robot. His heart had long ago flown to the side of the patient who was now stretched out on the operating table. He washed his hands to kill any germs and put on a gown and cap before going into the operating theater. Iris' body was lying unconscious on the white sheets. A mask over her nose was attached to a respirator to help her breathe. Overwhelmed by pity, tears flowed freely down his face. Katana's white Mercedes-Benz was turning to stop in the car park when he caught sight of Hirali's petite figure, standing in front of the house, holding a suitcase and popping in and out of the door as if she were waiting for someone. Why are you out here alone in the dark? Oh, Katana, you startled me. I didn't hear you coming. Hilary had been deep in thought and had been taken unawares when her friend's younger brother had come up to her from behind. Are you going somewhere? Or have you had a quarrel with her? Katana said in an accusatory voice. Can't you try to think in a good way? I'm waiting here because I've called a taxi to take me to the hospital quickly. She's giving birth. The darkness made it impossible to see Katana's face clearly and divine his feelings. Yes, then let's go together. I will drive you there. Hilary sensed Katana's heart melting even before they set off. Previously, she had only seen his hardness, but now she could perceive that he was also capable of compassion. If Irene knew, she would be happy, thought Hirali, keeping her feelings to herself. On the way to the hospital, Hilary took the chance to tell Katana about Iris' condition, working on his feelings. She was so close to Iris that she knew everything about her. I have known Iris since we were children. Her case is very beautiful. She dearly loves the people around her, but is afraid of rejection because being abandoned by her parents and left to someone else to bring her up has created an impasse in her mind. All the time, more than anything else in the world, she craves to be accepted by others. I can remember that when she was a teenager, she was sick. She had bulimia and had to go into hospital. Do you know? After all the investigations, the doctor came to the conclusion that she had tried to lose weight, believing that if she became slim, her older brother would love her. I can't believe that she has such a problem as that. Believe me, I'm not telling lies. I can tell that you didn't know about this before. Otherwise, you would not look so surprised. That was in the past, but now I know that she can accept the truth about life. She doesn't expect too much from anybody. I want to tell you this. Try to understand her and be close to her, especially when she is sick. Encouragement is very important. It blocks her feelings of loneliness. Even if you can't do this wholeheartedly, then pretend. At least do it for your mother, if not for your sister herself. Katana made no promises, but Hilary, observing his pale face and silence, became hopeful that Katana would not disappoint his sister. When they arrived at the hospital, Katana helped Hilary carry the case containing Iris' personal belongings and necessities for the newborn babies. The young man sat down in the waiting room next to Karen, looking worn out. How is she? Enrique will come out with news in a moment. Katana's face was still worried. Since being made aware of his sister's problems, he had blamed himself and prayed for her safety so that he would have a chance to become close to her instead of being obstinate and cold as in the past. In the operating theater, all the faces were anxious and stressed. The surgeon mumbled instructions through the white mask over his nose and mouth to the nurses to pass him surgical instruments. Everybody was racing against time to save 3 lives. Enrique held Iris' hand all the time. And finally, the crucial moment arrived when the tiny bodies of a baby girl followed by a baby boy emerged from Iris' womb. Iris was oblivious to the healthy sound of the twins crying as their first intake of breath filled the room, being still under a general anesthetic. She will come round soon. Her pulse is beating normally, so there shouldn't be any problems, said the doctor encouragingly to Enrique. And what about the babies? Are they okay? The little girl is very strong, but her brother is weak. He will have to stay in an incubator before he can leave hospital. I will go and explain to the family. Thank you. Thank you so much. Before Enrique had much time to think, the 3 people anxiously waiting outside came into the room. The doctor has told us that Ari has given birth to twins. Hilary said, Congratulations. Thank you. Enrique turning to the diminutive figure who had phoned to tell him about Iris' situation. Enrique, you still haven't met Iris' younger brother, said Karen, introducing them. I'm Katana. Congratulations. Thanks. I think Iris is coming round now. Enrique turned to Iris' pale face as her eyes slowly flickered open and looked around the room, resting for a while on Enrique's face before passing on to her younger brother's strong features. Katana returned her smile. It was like a miracle, the first smile that he had ever given her. Iris was unspeakably happy, happy that she had kept her promise to her mother that she would endeavor to become close to her young brother. Now it had been Katana himself who had thought out Iris, and tears flowed from her beautiful brown eyes. Enrique swept her hand gently, knowing everything about the past problematical relationship between them. How are the babies? Iris asked weakly. We have got twins. The doctor said that they're both okay. Rest and don't worry about anything anymore. I will manage everything. But he raised a hand to make her stop. Sleep and rest. When you wake up, you can see our babies. I will sit here. I won't move from this spot. Enrique's voice was tender as he kissed Iris' forehead. Take a good rest. I will go and see the babies in the nursery, said Karen. Let's go, Hugh, Katana. Don't worry, your sister has someone to take care of now. Iris smiled faintly at her mother, although everybody else, apart from Enrique, had left the room. Deep in her heart, she felt warm and far from lonely. Her fatigue and weakness made her sleep with Enrique's large hand grasping hers all the time. Enrique sat in the chair next to the bed as before, staring at the pale white face of the woman he had tried in vain to forget all the time. They had been separated. He had been out with other women, but they had not succeeded in erasing the memory of her. Finally, he had had Monica to thank for making him understand himself. History would not repeat itself. Iris twins would certainly not grow up without a father as she had done. Enrique smiled at the new dawn of hope, believing that this dream would come true.